I never thought I would be the person standing in the middle of a driveway, screaming at my own parents while my little girl sobbed behind me. But life has a way of showing you exactly who people are when you least expect it. My 10-year-old daughter, Lily, was forced to wear a cardboard sign around her neck that said, "Family Disgrace," in thick, black permanent marker. And the people who put it there were the very people who were supposed to love her unconditionally. Imagine coming home to find your child being publicly humiliated by her own grandparents as a form of discipline for a mistake she didn't even commit. Was I wrong for the way I reacted? Or would you have burned every bridge in your life to protect your child from that kind of cruelty? I need you to listen to this whole story, because what I discovered hidden in my mother's desk later that evening changed everything I thought I knew about my upbringing and the people I called my family. To understand how we got to that horrific moment on the driveway, you have to understand the dynamic of the Miller family. My parents, Robert and Alina, were always obsessed with appearances. Growing up, my brother Marcus and I weren't just children, we were trophies. If our grades weren't perfect, if our clothes weren't pressed, or if we didn't excel in sports, we were treated like broken equipment. Marcus always handled the pressure better than I did by becoming a bit of a golden boy, a master of saying exactly what my parents wanted to hear. I, on the other hand, was always a bit more of a rebel, which led to a lot of friction. When I had Lily 10 years ago, I promised myself I would never put that kind of weight on her shoulders. I wanted her to be happy, messy, and free. For years, I kept a bit of distance between my parents and my daughter, but recently, after my husband passed away in a car accident, I found myself struggling. I had to go back to work full-time to keep our house, and childcare was becoming an impossible expense. My parents offered to help, and against my better judgment, I accepted. I thought they had softened with age. I thought being grandparents would bring out a side of them I never saw as a child. I was so incredibly wrong. For the first few months, things seemed okay. Lily would go to their house after school, and they'd report back that she was doing fine. But then the comments started. My mother would mention that Lily was getting soft or that she didn't have enough discipline. She'd criticize Lily's hair, her interest in drawing instead of studying math, and her tendency to be sensitive. I brushed it off as generational differences, telling Lily to just be polite and that it was only for a few hours a day. Then came the week of the incident. My brother Marcus and his wife were visiting from out of town with their kids. Marcus has always been the favorite, and his children are treated like royalty by my parents. Apparently, while they were all at my parents' house, a precious heirloom, a crystal vase that had belonged to my great-grandmother, was shattered. My mother was hysterical. She immediately accused Lily, claiming she saw her running near the display case. Lily, who is the most honest kid I know, swore up and down she was in the backyard the whole time. But my parents didn't believe her. Marcus didn't defend her. They decided she needed to be taught a lesson about the value of family legacy and the consequences of lying. The day it happened, I was stuck in a late meeting at the office. I was already stressed, rushing out the door to pick Lily up, thinking about what we would have for dinner. As I pulled onto my parents' street, I saw a small figure standing near the edge of the sidewalk. As I got closer, my heart dropped into my stomach. It was Lily. She was standing perfectly still, her head bowed, and around her neck was a piece of brown cardboard held up by rough twine. In big, jagged letters, it read "Family Disgrace." My parents and Marcus were sitting on the porch chairs, watching her like she was a common criminal in the stocks. I didn't even park the car properly. I slammed it into park, left the engine running, and sprinted toward her. When she saw me, she didn't even move at first. She was so traumatized she just looked at me with these hollow, tear-filled eyes. I ripped that sign off her neck so hard the twine snapped, and I felt a level of rage I didn't know a human being could contain. I turned toward the porch, where my father was standing up, looking completely unbothered, and my mother was sipping tea. I started screaming. I asked them how they could ever think this was okay. My father had the audacity to tell me to calm down and that they were doing the job I was too weak to do. He said Lily was a liar and a thief of family history and that she needed to feel the weight of her shame so she wouldn't do it again. Marcus actually chimed in, saying, "It's just a bit of tough love, sis. She needs to learn." I told them right then and there that they were dead to me. I took Lily to the car, but as I was leaving, my mother shouted that I was ungrateful and that after everything they'd done for me, I was the real disgrace. I drove home in a daze, Lily sobbing in the backseat, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Once we got home, I spent hours just holding her, telling her she was loved, that she did nothing wrong, and that we were never going back there again. But the anger was bubbling inside me. I knew Lily didn't break that vase. She doesn't lie. I knew someone else was responsible. And the fact that they let a 10-year-old take the fall and be humiliated was something I couldn't let go of. So that is where things stood. My family turned a discipline tactic into a psychological assault on my daughter for something she didn't do. I've cut them off completely, but Marcus is calling me saying I'm overreacting and that I'm ruining the family over a prank. Before I tell you what I found out later that night when I went back to their house to get the rest of Lily's things, I want you to pause. Do you think I'm overreacting? If your parents did this to your child, would you ever speak to them again? Go ahead and comment below what you would have done in my shoes, because I felt like I was losing my mind. Now let me tell you what happened next, because it's the part that still makes my blood boil. Around 9:00 p.m., I realized I had left Lily's school backpack and her expensive iPad at my parents' house. I didn't want to go back, but she needed her books for school the next day. I drove over there, planning to just grab the stuff from the porch and leave. When I arrived, the house was dark, but I saw my mother's car was gone. She usually goes to her bridge club on Thursday nights. My father's car was also gone. He likely went to the cigar lounge to blow off steam after our fight. I used my spare key, which I should have returned years ago, and let myself in. I just wanted the bag. I went into the kitchen, but it wasn't there. I walked toward the home office, thinking maybe they'd tucked it away in there. As I walked past my mother's desk, I noticed a small digital camera sitting out. It's the one she uses for her gardening blog. For some reason, a gut instinct told me to turn it on. I scrolled through the recent photos, expecting to see flowers. Instead, I saw photos from earlier that afternoon. There were photos of Marcus's youngest son, Leo, playing in the living room. And then there it was, a video file. I hit play. The video showed Leo jumping on the sofa, losing his balance and crashing into the display case. The crystal vase shattered into a million pieces. The camera must have been recording because my mother had set it up on a tripod to film a house tour for her friends. The video didn't stop there. I watched as my mother walked into the room, saw the mess, and saw Leo crying. Then I heard her voice, cold and calculated. She told Leo, "Don't worry, honey. We won't let you get in trouble. We'll just say Lily did it. She's always been a clumsy girl anyway." I watched my mother comfort the golden grandchild while literally plotting to frame my daughter. I felt sick. It wasn't just a mistake or a misunderstanding. It was a conspiracy. They knew Lily was innocent the entire time she was standing on that driveway with that sign around her neck. They didn't just punish her. They sacrificed her to protect the reputation of my brother's kid. I didn't just take the backpack. I took the SD card from that camera. I went home, and the next morning I didn't call them. I didn't text them. Instead, I sent the video to the entire extended family group chat, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. I included a photo I took of Lily wearing the family disgrace sign. I wrote a simple caption. "This is who Robert and Alina really are. They framed a 10-year-old and publicly humiliated her to cover for their favorite. We are done." The fallout was nuclear. My phone exploded with messages from shocked relatives. My mother tried to call me 50 times, but I blocked her. Marcus tried to tell me I violated his son's privacy by sharing the video. I told him he violated my daughter's soul by letting her be bullied for his son's mistake. My parents are now social pariahs in our small town and within our family circle. My aunt even told them they weren't welcome at Christmas. As for Lily, she's in therapy now. We're working through the trauma, and she's starting to smile again. She knows her mom will always have her back, no matter what. This experience taught me that blood doesn't make you family, loyalty and love do. My parents spent their lives trying to curate a perfect image, but in their greed for perfection, they became monsters. I have no regrets about exposing them. They earned every bit of the disgrace they tried to pin on my daughter. If you were on my side and think I did the right thing by putting them on blast, please hit the like button on this video. It helps more than you know. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more stories like this one. And I really want to hear your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments. Would you have gone as far as I did, or would you have just walked away quietly? Thanks for listening to my story, and I'll see you all in the next one.